welcome into Summer Center and Copeland Court for another edition of Bluffton University Basketball. I'm Andrew Collinsworth. Alongside me is Jake Bumgarner, and tonight we're bringing you coverage of the Earlham Quakers coming in to Copeland Court to take on the Beavers, and it's the much anticipated return for grad senior number 3 Michael Stahman. We thought he would be done for the season early on when he broke both of his wrists, and by some miraculous recovery he's able to return this season. Almost 2.5 months later, Connor Martin is going to win the opening tip and get it into the hands of Michael Stahman. Rogers is going to work baseline and swing it back up top to Snelling. And here's Michael Stahman driving inside with the right hand, and just like that, he gets his first bucket since that injury.
Yeah, naturally, I feel like you knew Mike was getting ball there. I think I was getting ready to call the last game with the AC, and I got a text from Mike that said, next time you put that headset on, be ready to say my name, and that we did at the first play.
Here they come in transition. Robson with some contact, a couple of offensive rebounds there, and Snelling is unable to corral it. Ken Walker comes up with the board. How about Ken Walker this season, averaging over 22 points per game? He dropped 41 in their loss in overtime to Franklin. They're 1-19 on the year, but they've been playing much better basketball as of late, as there's a three-pointer is going to be off the mark. Robson collects. But Earlham has been playing a lot better than at the start of the year. That 1-19 record is really a little bit deceiving, that one win coming against the Beavers. So it's going to be a big get-back game here for Bluffton, especially for that man with the ball right there, number 3. Stahman is going to draw the foul, and we'll have underneath the basket, we'll have a inbound here. But yeah, Ken Walker has been brilliant. 22.3 points per game, 44% from the field. And just the whole team is kind of starting to come along. They've got a really young team that has started to blossom this year, and you hope that they're able to continue to strengthen their program. As here's Cam Rogers working on the block, go up with the right hand, and that one is good. So the Beavers out to a 4-point lead here to start things off.
And to me, AC, it's this Earlham team's a lot like Bluffton. You know, still searching for what their identity is as a team. Got a lot of talent, just hasn't been able to really put things together yet.
There's Ken Walker in the corner knocking down a triple. They're gonna have to keep a hand up in his face all night long. Last game he went for 41 on 6 for 9 from 3, so he's definitely able to shoot that outside shot. Snelling in the corner now will let one go. Off the mark there for the rebound is Travis Makabu, and he throws it forward to Tommy Reddick. Walker again open for 3 off the front side of the rim. Rogers there for the board.
A good thing about being a Beaver,
Snelling lets one fly again off the left side.
if you are Kenneth Walker coming in to Copeland Court, it's definitely a difficult place to shoot. So coming off of a 6 for 9 performance from 3, you might not get those same exact numbers tonight. Yeah, like you said a couple weeks ago, notoriously these rims are a little tight, difficult to shoot on.
And not many friendly bounces coming off of these rims. But Ken Walker was able to get his first. Second one was off the mark. So Bluffton just able to hang on to that early 1-point lead in here. 17:36 left, and both teams coming out with quite a bit of pace. You saw Bluffton come into that trap early on, so maybe another thing to look for is a increased defensive presence, as you see Bluffton in somewhat of a zone look now. Walker will swing it up top. Reddick to Walker. Now down low for Makuba. Good pass on the block, goes up. Finishing is Landon Hale. I talked a little bit about how young this team is, and they have 4 underclassmen in the starting lineup tonight, 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen. So you just think if they're able to keep this nucleus together, that they can really build on something special, try to turn around this program. We'll have a foul called. That one's going to go against Connor Smith, the sophomore from Carlisle, Ohio.
Yeah, but definitely, I mean, you get a core nucleus. I mean, a good freshman class is kind of all it takes to really turn a program around, right? And not only getting them there, but keeping them there, keeping them around. Obviously, as 4 freshmen in the starting lineup, getting a lot of valuable minutes this year definitely will be key for them for years to come. Keep them together.
Martin drives inside with the left hand. Again, just like that, there's no friendly bounces on these rims.
Not here. Not
Looked like
here.
it was just sitting up there for forever. There's a three-pointer the other way. That one's no good. Hale with the board and the finish, so a three-point lead now after a 4-0 opening for the Beavers. Earlham responds with a 7-0 run of their own. Stammen inside, gets blocked. Here comes Makabu the other way. Ken Walker drives past Martin, up and under with a clean finish off the glass. Walker.
Yeah, Walker might be a problem.
That's a nice move to
might be a problem.
get underneath the outstretched arms there.
I believe you said he leads the conference in points per game.
Yeah, 22.3, point better than second place. So there's Robson missing and Smith going the other way for Earlham.
Might have got away with a walk there.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
No harm, no foul. As Beavers look to push it here. Here's Cam Rogers to the lane.
Nice little set through for Cam Rogers. Bluffton finally gets back on the board.
Yeah, you're almost glad that they didn't call that travel there. The Beavers were able to get in transition. That's what they like to do. Cam Rogers made that Euro step look easy.
Both these teams haven't had a ton of trouble scoring the rock. It's really been stopping the opposing offenses. 9th and 10th, Bluffton and Earlham respectively in the conference defensively in opponents' points per game as that pass is errant into the hands of Coach Clark. We'll have the under 16 media timeout. A little bit of a quick start here, 9-6. Earlham with the early lead, and it's been a heavy dose of Ken Walker as we start out, which we expected to see. He's been their go-to guy the whole season with no one else averaging in the double digits, but their other pieces are starting to come along nicely. You look at guys like Landon Hale, you know, he's listed as a guard, but he's playing down low. He's 6'6", so I'd imagine he'd be playing down low. But he's able to shoot that three a little bit, averaging almost 10 points per game. And then you look at a guy like Tavion Tatum, who's averaging almost 10 points per game, and he's coming off the bench. He's one of the upperclassmen on this team, also listed at 6'6". So they got a little bit of size there between those two guys, and it's really been a lot of outside game with Ken Walker, and then going back inside to those guys when they needed a quick bucket. Looking at this Bluffton team, they've lost 4 in a row now. The average loss margin of 20 games, but you have to imagine getting Michael Stammen back in that lineup, a 2023-24 first team all HCAC selection, that getting him back is gonna really provide a boost and a spark for this Beaver team. It looks like the natural 5 that if you were to draw up before the season, these are the 5 guys that are going to start for us. It would be these 5, with Stammen being injured. It's kind of forced them to move things around, and it's also given some other guys a good opportunity. We saw a lot of Aiden Ali last game.
And I feel like naturally, you know, Mike Stammen's the heart and soul of this team, right? And not only to get him back, but to get him back at this point in the season where you're fighting for that last spot for the conference tournament. You know, this could be the time where everything just falls into place for the Beavers. And, you know, you don't always have to be hot the entire year, but if you can get hot at the right time, especially getting a guy like him back, I mean, Beavers should definitely do some damage in the conference tournament. And I think that's exciting.
Outside, Makuba lets it fly. Falls to Robson on the rebounds. Robson looking for that pass forward, and he does get it to Rogers, who loses his handle. Eventually, it's still on the floor, but it's finally picked up by Travis Makubu. He goes into the body of Robson. Not called for the walk. Connor Smith, just off the front side. Connor Smith, 44% from 3 this season. So they've got some shooters out there, only averaging 5.7 points per game, but he is that outside scoring threat that when Walker gets inside, he'll dish to. Robson with the right hand, rattles in.
Yeah, and just having Mike back too, I mean, Nevin's had to pick up a lot of the slack offensively. I mean, he's a guy that you're leaning on to have 20 a night, right? And now Mike, through 5 games, is averaging 12 points. That's a load off of Nevin for sure, and also a guy that can get him the ball in scoring position to make his job easier. I mean, I feel like you couldn't ask for a better night here.
Walker in the corner, lets it fly. He's a little too strong. Stelling will get the board and get it to Robson in transition. Forward to Connor Martin. He goes up, thought about slamming it, but gets fouled. So he'll get 2 free throws, and we'll see our first subs of the game. First free throws as well. I didn't even think about that.
And it's looking like you're going to put J.D. Stokes in here. I don't know if he's going to get shooter or not, but, you know, the last few home games anyway, Beavers have gone kind of small. A lot of guards or forwards, I guess, that are 6'3", that are playing down low. So this is a completely different type of lineup they're going. More of a natural one that you would have expected early in the year.
As we'll now see Sir Sumner check in, as well as Caden Slusher, excuse me. Slusher had 11 points in 5 minutes in their last game, doing the most with a limited opportunity. Just 3 for 3 from 3, knocked down both of his free throws. That's really all you need to get to 11 right there.
Right, and that's going to get you more opportunities too. I mean, if you're in there for 5 minutes, you're putting up 11 points. You're just asking to get put back in the game.
And it's a well-earned first substitution for him. You've seen Coach Clark try to switch things around multiple times this season, try to find the winning recipe. Maybe all along it was that piece with number 3. We'll see how many minutes he does end up playing tonight. It's a pass down low. Nice finish there from Connor Smith with the right hand. Lead goes right back to Earlham. Stammen takes the screen. Here's Sumner. Now Slusher looking down low. He'll get it up top to Stokes. Stokes lets it fly. Just off the right side. Good looking shot there, but not much falling from beyond three-point land for the Beavers early in this one. Here's Smith. He'll go. Too short. Offensive board for Elijah Zom. And it's good.
I feel like even in the early go here, not a ton of points off of set plays and whatnot, but you can tell just the way.
Slusher's too strong.
Just the way that they're setting up plays and moving the ball around, they look a lot more comfortable, right? And they have been playing a lot of transition game and whatnot. Having Mike back, it's kind of like when you lose your quarterback, right? And you're down to the backup quarterback, and the passes that usually get caught aren't getting caught, and there's balls that are thrown at your feet and whatnot. Like I mean, when you lose your point guard, you're basically losing the quarterback, and you could tell there wasn't a ton of set pieces being ran throughout the year, and that was at fault of just not having your guy that set up everything and knew the playbook through and through. I think offensively, even with empty possessions, they look a lot more comfortable.
Good crossover there by Robson to get to the bucket. He gets fouled by Elijah Zom. We will have the under 12 media timeout. So Earlham leads 13-10. We'll be back after this. We are back. Earlham with an early 13-10 point lead over the Beavers. Nevin Robson will head to the line to shoot 2. Nevin Robson, the leading scorer for the Beavers. 15.3 points per game on an ultra-efficient 52.6% from the field. He's been the guy that when they need a bucket, they turn to him. First one is just off the front side of the rim. Also see into the game now is Carson Klum, the freshman. We're expecting to see a little bit more of him, as some of the coaches told me he'd been practicing very well. And so he is also rewarded with some early minutes. He's a freshman from Harrod, Ohio. He's not seen action in a whole lot of games so far, but yeah, just 3 games. But has impressed the coaches in practice enough to earn some minutes here tonight. Here's Pruitt on the right side. Earlham swinging it around the outside. Down low to Tatum. It's stolen by Slusher. He's by himself. And just easy lay-in for Slusher. Ties this thing up at 13 apiece.
And sometimes all it takes is a little spark off the bench, too. I know, obviously, sitting on the bench isn't something any player wants to do, but when you finally do get your time, you know, it's like a different type of spark.
Connor Smith will connect on the first three-pointer for him in this one. That leads back up to 3 for Earlham. Slusher in the corner. Off the front side. There for the rebound is Donovan Pruitt. Pruitt in transition. Tries to go up with the right hand. It gets blocked by J.D. Stokes. It'll stay with the Quakers. McAboo will re-enter for Connor Smith. Smith sporting some sort of a cast there on his right wrist. I wonder if he had some sort of injury because he only played 5 minutes last game. As there's a heads-up play by Carson Klum coming behind the big man to get the steal. Pass down low. Good shot fake from J.D. Stokes, and he finishes with the left. Pruitt now being guarded by Klum. Into the corner. He'll let one fly. Too strong. Host of Beavers there, but Slusher will come down with it. Now Sumner will go in transition. Working on Walker into the corner. Layfield lets one fly. Cash! Will Layfield gets his points going, and the Beavers get that lead right back. Pruitt. Ball is tipped out of bounds. Tatum couldn't find the pass there. The Quake, oh, we're gonna have a foul actually. It's gonna go against Caden Slusher. He's gonna be called for a block.
Oh, and he looks banged up there too.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe knee to knee, I don't.
It's hard to see really. I was more focused on where that pass was going. I saw it tipped out of bounds. I didn't see the injury necessarily. Slusher's still down inside that three-point line.
Hate to see that.
Absolutely, as guy who works really, really hard and got to earn some minutes here tonight, going down with an early injury. He's back up to his feet.
Hoping that's
like
just
a cramper.
Yeah.
Something minor that he might be able to re-enter. So he'll head to the trainer's table, and into the game for him is now Michael Stammen. Pruitt will inbound underneath the basket. He'll get it into Walker. Walker drives inside, finds an open McAboo. Too short on the attempt. Reddick there for the offensive board. Good defense down low. Finally, Beavers able to come up with it and pushed ahead to Carson Klum. Klum gets it down low to Sumner. Sumner working on Pruitt. Right hands. Good. Good use of the body there by Sir Sumner. Extends that lead to 4.
And that's just three in a row. Good defensive stops by the Beavers that led to points. And that was the thing that kind of you haven't seen much this season, right? Turning that defense into offense.
Not much there for Pruitt. He's forced to kick it out. Now here's Reddick on the right side. Cross-court pass. Good fake by Pruitt. Back to Reddick, lets it fly, almost banks it in. Klum will get the board. Bounce pass into the corner for Layfield. Bluffton will slow it down in the hands of Stammen. Down low to Sumner. Jabs. Now goes outside to Layfield. He'll let one fly again. And again, he's money from 3.
That might have been an instant replay of a three-pointer we saw maybe 2 possessions ago. That looked very familiar.
I'll tell you what, Will Layfield, when he shoots in rhythm, when he knows that when he's getting it, he's going to shoot it, it very rarely misses. He's finally getting those looks.
You're going to leave him that open as J.D. Stokes with the slam. This is a Bluffton Beavers team that I'm telling you, don't let them get hot at the right time. They are on fire right now.
A big run for the Beavers has them up 25-16. Timeout Earlham. So we are back. Bluffton going on that run to extend the lead to 9 now. Still in that press zone. Almost a double negative there, press zone, but they are coming quite a bit out to put pressure on the ball. Good hands by Klum. Reddick will retain possession. McAboo into the corner now for Walker, driving inside. Not much there, he has to kick it out into the corner. No three-pointer. Driving inside, we'll have a shot clock violation.
And another just impressive defensive stand there by Bluffton Beavers. That's 4 or 5 in a row now. Earlham's coming up empty-handed.
I thought that Tommy Reddick was going to try to draw that foul there on Sir Sumner as he got Sumner in the air on that shot fake because there was such few time on the shot clock there. But instead he chose to drive inside and just not enough time on the shot clock to be able to get a shot up. Sumner, left hand off the glass and in. Sir Sumner getting going now.
I think when you can just, when you see the balls falling, you know, you're putting the ball in the basket, you can get creative. You can do stuff like that. Have confidence to hit a spin move and a little hook shot over off the backboard. I mean, these are things the Beavers haven't done great early in the year, and they're looking really well doing them today. Just looks like they're playing with a lot more confidence.
Ken Walker with a big three to cut into that Bluffton lead. It's been a while since we've seen that ball go through the hoop for the Quakers, and they definitely needed that. It's a little bit of a lift. Sumner going back to work, will shoot with the right, and again, just having his way down low. Sumner putting up a very impressive start to this game.
And again, like, is that an ideal shot you want when there's 10 seconds on the shot clock still? Probably not, right? But when you're having a day like he is so far, I mean, you can do that, and you can have confidence doing that, and that's a good shot, and ultimately 2 points for the Beavers.
Klum will let it fly. Just off the right side of the backboard. Walker there for the board. There's Smith in transition, gets it back to Walker. Nice little pass across to Tommy Reddick. Smith thought about it, but he'll dump it down to McAboo. Takes the baseline jumper. Too much space for McAboo. That lead's starting to dwindle back down into the single digits now, down to 6. Stoneman will get it to Sumner, right in front of the block, playing with his face up to the basket. Driving inside, tries to get it to Klum. Outside for Stokes, good shot fake. Working inside off the glass, just couldn't get it to fall. And rebound for the Quakers. Pass down low. It was Landon Hale up and in.
Start to see the momentum going a little bit the other way now. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a timeout here.
Quick to the bucket is Stoneman, unable to finish. Here comes Walker going the other way. Crossover. Good step back there, but not enough space to get the shot off. So it'll be Connor Smith on the left side. He'll let one fly again, and that one rattles in. Another three-pointer for Smith, and there's that timeout that you were talking about, Jake, is Bluffton's 12-point lead vanishes as Earlham goes on a big run.
And that's the thing, right? You see those defensive stops from Bluffton, and they turn them into points, right? And then they go cold. They don't get those defensive stops, and it's a completely different ball game as it's right back. I mean, it's going to be a game of runs, as you can tell. It's just who's going to be hot at the right time, and definitely a good time out there, though. You want to stop some of the momentum, and it's a big possession for the Beavers. Get some points. Get back to where you were. You were playing good basketball, right? I mean, obviously, might have got tired or losing Slusher there. That wasn't the best thing to happen, but you were playing good basketball. Don't go back to old habits. Keep playing the game you were playing. Get those stops. Turn that defense into offense.
Earlham going on a 12-2 run over the last 2.5 minutes, getting that lead back down to 1 point now. As the Beavers are going to try to find that offense that they were working so well with at that 8-minute mark that forced Coach Adam Hutchinson into the timeout. Stoneman gets it up top to Sumner. He'll take the screen and finds a rolling Rogers. He'll pull up, just hits the front side of the rim. Good save there by McAboo to get it to Walker. Reddick tries to get into the corner. It's well over everybody, and it'll go the other way. Stoneman will bring the ball up now. 4.5 minutes left here in this fast-paced first half. Not a lot of fouls. It's been fairly clean game so far, and that's the way that you like to see it played out. Just keeps the pace of the game very nice, as Robson's left or right hand rather is good. Getting that lead back to 3. Evan Robson hasn't been asked to shoot the ball a whole lot tonight. Kind of keeping that ace up their sleeve, so to say.
And I guess that's a pretty good problem to have, right? When your guy who's averaging 20 hasn't got a ton of shots, I mean, that must mean that, you know, offensively you're doing pretty well elsewhere, and that hasn't been a common theme so far this year. But when anybody can get hot, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, when he's not getting shots up, it means one of two things. Either you need to change your offense, or it's firing on all cylinders.
Right.
And that hasn't necessarily been firing on all cylinders these last 5 minutes, which is, I think, one of the reasons that you just go right back to them. But they've been able to spread the ball around very nicely. It's Walker again absorbing the contact, putting a little English on it, finishing off the glass. But Robson just hasn't needed to score a whole lot. You've got Layfield coming off the bench, giving you a couple threes. Here's Sumner down low, shot fake, goes up with the right hand. But he's been really good tonight. That's his first miss. Walker thought about stepping into it. Instead, he'll dribble it back out. Now here's Reddick. McAboo at the elbow into the corner for Walker. He'll shoot it over Snelling off the front side of the rim. Beavers coming in transition with a 4-on-3. Rogers backs it out, just loses the handle. Quakers will come up with it. We will take the under 4 immediate timeout. Bluffton with a 1-point lead here. Starting to not necessarily slip away, but you mentioned there was that momentum shift there, and Earlham was able to go on that run, and now we're having that back and forth affair that we thought we were going to have at the very beginning of this game. But to your credit, you did mention it was a game of runs. It started off 4-0 for the Beavers, then 7-0 run from Earlham, then another run for the Beavers, and then Earlham kind of brought it back, and another run, and that's just the way it's been. Two teams that, you know, when they get hot, they don't miss. At the same time, it's not so frequent that, you know, they will get hot, or not as common as, you know, a consistent offense that you would see at the top of the league. But when they are hot, they're very dangerous. It's just going to be which team stays hotter longer.
And they got the talent to score points, right? It's just they've missed some layups here and there. They have struggled to shoot the 3 ball. I mean, they can do it. They haven't shown it as well as you've liked to see it so far, but like they can. And it's just, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or, you know, just a personnel thing maybe. I mean, you're switching up a lot of things. A lot of guys are getting minutes, but there's a lot of talent on this Beavers team, and they're going to score points. Now you got to do it consistently, and when you have those runs, right, build off of those. Maybe you're not going to have another 10-0 run after that, but have a 5 points here, you know, 2 there, whatever, right? Like, you can't just leave empty-handed, and especially when you're giving up 10 points in a row.
One of the other things that kind of notice is that when Bluffton has been able to make a basket, they come out into that zone look, press a little bit as that one's off the mark, and now Robson will go with pace. But they've also been able to set up their defense. Nice move inside, and a finish at the rim for Nevin Robson. We'll have a foul going against Michael Stoneman. As I was saying, they're able to set up their defense when they're able to score. But when Earlham is getting those stops, they're forced into that man look, and that's when they've been able to score their points. But this defense right here has been hard to penetrate tonight for the Quakers. Walker on the right side gets it into the corner for McAboo. Now here's Reddick up top, stolen by Ian Snelling. Sumner keeping his eyes up, gets it forward to Rogers, just too strong. You could see the ambition there from Sir Sumner. He had him just a little bit too far over his head. Cam Rogers can jump, but that one almost hit off the backboard.
And he saw something, he got excited. That's just one of those plays where you kind of try to do a little too much. He saw the vision.
Yeah, you can see it from up here how big his eyes got when he saw him. He was like, oh, he's wide open, streaking.
And sometimes you just get a little too excited, right? You see something in your head, and it just, you don't focus as much on the finish, right, as you do on the pass. And
Walker hits another three, tying this thing up at 33 apiece. These two teams going back and forth. Now under 2 minutes to play. We will have McAboo called for the foul on Nevin Robson. Just the 5th foul for Earlham here in this first half. Bluffton only with 4.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Earlham's attempted a free throw either.
Yeah, I think that you're right. Has it only been those 2 free throws by
Nevin, I believe?
Wow. That's quite the contrast from some of the games that we've called where it seems like it's just been a free throw fest, especially in the girls' games. I think there was a game this year where we saw 60 combined free throws. That one's going to fall out of bounds. It's like maybe Connor Smith might have caught a piece of it. But it'll stay with the Beavers.
It was either a block or a foul, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think you'd probably take that. Oh, look at that.
Stahman with the inbound play, unable to finish.
And you have to wonder, too, how much the breaking 2 wrists obviously affects how you're going to shoot the ball or how comfortably you're going to shoot the ball. It's got to feel different, though, right? I mean, he's missed a couple little short ones so far. Maybe just the touch could be a little off. Or, I mean, you essentially have 2 new wrists, and that's got to take some getting used to for sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect coming back. And I asked him before how often he was, or how many minutes he was expecting to play, as Robson can't finish at the rim there. He said, you know, it's probably not going to be 35 minutes like I'm used to, but even if I get 20 minutes tonight, that's good enough for me. And so far, he's definitely on pace for that mark. You can see he was a little bit frustrated with himself for not finishing that.
Yeah, and I mean, 20 minutes for sure. He's almost hit that now. He took a seat for a short period of time, but I'd say he's at least 14 minutes, and then there's still a whole second half. And obviously, you probably don't want to, you know, play him too hard. And he's aggressive. He's been on the floor a few times already tonight, but you also, it's like you have him, you want to use him, right? That's your guy. He brings a lot of energy. He's the quarterback. Like you want to have him out there, so it's kind of tough to keep him out on the bench. And I think I just jinxed it there. Those are first free throws of the game.
Yeah, the second one was good from Reddick there. After he missed the first. I'm a little surprised, too, because it seems like Ian Snelling really plays well when Michael Stahman is on the floor, and he hasn't really had the opportunity to get many shots up. I think he had 2 open looks from 3 early on, but really hasn't shot the ball since then. See if he can get going here before the half, maybe on this last possession to try to get his legs going here for the second. Stahman just going to take his time here, try to get the last shot, or at least leave only a couple seconds for Earlham to maybe not have a good look. Stahman will take the screen from Stokes into the corner for Snelling. Drive baseline, back up top for Stahman. 6 on the shot clock. Deep 3 from Stahman. Misses short. He gets the offensive board. They're going to have a timeout. Did he call that while he was falling out of bounds?
Mid-air, yeah. Yeah, I've never seen that.
I have not either. That's a heck of a timeout there, especially you have nothing to lose here. You have plenty of timeouts and less than 10 seconds left, so you might as well take it. As he was falling out of bounds, grabbed it. I thought he was turning around to throw it in. I'm like, why didn't he just throw it? And he said something, and the referee picked up on it pretty quickly.
That's a 4-year starter, knowing where you're at on the floor, knowing there's a ref right there, and you don't want to hurt yourself trying to save that ball when you are coming back from 2 broken wrists, maybe end up in the bleachers. That was a very intelligent play by the 5th-year senior, and 7 seconds left here. You maybe get an opportunity to get a better look than you just got after taking the 35-footer. Could definitely cut this lead down to at least 3, maybe 2 if you're lucky, and
try to get some momentum building into the second half, because Ken Walker has been as advertised. He's knocked down several triples tonight en route to a 16-point first half. That pass goes through the hands of Stokes. Now Quakers going with pace. Throws up with 3 seconds on the shot clock, or on the game clock rather. He had plenty of time, but not sure he knew that. It's Reddick's half-court attempt falls short, and Earlham will take a 4-point lead into the half. Yeah, looking at some of these stats here before the half, Ken Walker, 6 for 8 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, 16 points. Connor Smith adds 8 points on 2 for 4 from 3. For the Beavers, Nevin Robson has been the leading scorer with 7. Will Layfield has a pair of 3-pointers that got him to 6. And Sumner has 6 on 3 for 4 shooting. So pretty efficient from a lot of these guys so far tonight on both sides of the ball, but just not able to consistently put together good offensive possessions for the Beavers, and that's why they trail now down 4 after starting out so hot. So with 14:40 to go until the second half, we'll probably come back with 2 minutes to go. We'll bring you some more stats from the half and talk a little bit about what the Beavers need to do to get into the conference tournament. So stay right there. We'll be back in 12. So we are back with about 1 minute and 15 seconds before we get this second half underway. Earlham with a 37-33 lead over the Beavers. Ken Walker doing it all, played the entire first half and had 16 points on 6 for 8 shooting. He has been as advertised. For the Beavers, it's been a mix of guys. Nevin Robson leads with 7 points. Sir Sumner adds in 6, and so does Will Layfield after hitting a couple of 3-pointers. Looking at this margins here and some of these stats, that you would think that Bluffton would be ahead. They've dominated the fast break point 12-1, the bench points 18-2. They've really done a nice job of playing off the bench. Having a lot of depth is going to help you out. They have a 14-point scoring run, larger than Earlham. They have the biggest lead in this game, but they're down 37-33. Why might that be, Jake?
I mean, like I said, it's a game of runs, and Bluffton didn't really take advantage of their one big run, right? They had 10, 11 in a row, had a lot of good defensive stops, and then that was it, right? There was not much offense after that. And when you have a good run like that, you got to build on it. Like I said, you don't have to score 10 more points immediately after that and give up none, you know, go on a 20-point run. But you gotta find points when you can, especially when Earlham's making a run on their own. They've done a good job of spreading the ball around. I think they just got to get back to what was working, you know, running in transition, spreading the floor, getting players involved, and they can't just be complacent because they had a 10-0 run, or, you know, you got to build off of that.
Yeah, very efficient first half for Earlham as well. 15 for 31, just a tick below 50% at 48.4. They did a really nice job being able to climb back after trailing by 11. They're with under 8 minutes, and they went on a little bit of a run of their own there to end that first half, and yeah, they put themselves in a position to play with the lead here in the second. It'll be Ken Walker on the right side throwing a lob. Oh my goodness, I thought Reddick was going to throw that down. Just lost the handle on it, definitely got high enough. Here's Snelling in transition, too short. Martin right there for the board and the finish. So what looked like it could have been an exclamation point on that first half for the Quakers ends up going for 2 the other way for the Beavers.
Yeah, that'd be one way to get some momentum going into the beginning of the second half. That would have been wild here.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many lobs thrown in this gym. That might have been the first one I've seen successfully thrown down. But instead,
another day.
Yeah. There's Makuba down low, gets blocked by Snelling. Robson in transition, right hand off the glass, a little bit too strong. Finally, Martin there for the offensive board, throws it up, no good. Scrum on the ground. Finally, it's McAboo coming up with it. Walker now. Bounce pass into the corner, back up top now for McAboo. At the elbow, into the corner for Walker. 3-pointer. Short. Martin gets the board after letting it bounce once, and here's Stammen now. Driving inside with the right hand, gets blocked. McAboo with the block, saves it. Ken Walker in transition. Gonna have a foul on the floor going against Cam Rogers. I should probably go ahead and apologize now for how many times I've butchered Travis McAboo's name. I keep wanting to say Makubu because there's a player for Texas safety whose last name is Makuba, and that just reminds me it's a very similar spelling. But McAboo has played a pivotal role on that defensive side tonight. Here's Hale, goes up off the front side of the rim. Robson now dumps down low to Rogers. He's forced to dribble it back out. Rogers using his right shoulder, creates some separation. Off the glass, we will have a travel called.
I don't know about a travel, maybe.
I thought maybe they were going to get him for the shoulder right there, because it looked like gave him an extra little shoulder bump right there. Thought they were going to call the offensive foul. Must have seen his left foot shuffle. We're approximately 150 feet away, so we don't have a great angle right there. You guys at home probably had a better angle than we did.
And we got this bar in front of us too.
Here's Walker, crosses over behind the back. Now it's Reddick, swings up top. Smith will let it fly. Off the rim, we're gonna have a foul going against Landon Hale. Robson was in position there. Hale just a little too aggressive with the hands, gets called for the foul, his 3rd foul of the night.
I think the Beavers are going to get Nevin involved here a little bit more this second half. And he led Bluffton in scoring only with 7, but kind of came late. And the more you see Ken Walker getting the touches, I think Bluffton's going to go to their best guy, and it's going to be a battle of those two.
We're going to have a call going against Connor Smith. So after a fairly whistle-free first half, already seeing some go the other way here. That one looked maybe like a little bit ticky-tacky, but I'm not one to sit here and criticize the referees. They're not trying to deliberately screw anybody over. They're doing their absolute best. As, like you mentioned, Robson just going to work, tying things up at 37.
I mean, he's your scoring option, and when you got a guy who has 16 at the half, you know, they're going to feed their hot hand, and it would be smart if you're Bluffton to get your hot hand going as well.
Walker up top. Here's Reddick now. Not much there. Walker again. 5 on the shot clock now. Reddick forced to dribble inside, pulls up. No good. Sumner there. Up ahead to Snelling. Robson will now slow it down. He's got McAboo in front of him. He surveys and takes the screen from Sumner. No, it's a roll-off. Now he's going to back him down. 13 on the shot clock now, using that left shoulder. Goes up, doesn't get it to fall. Martin came up with the board, and it will stay with the Beavers with 19 on the shot clock.
That defensive possession there by Bluffton, though, I think that was a good sign of what's to come. As I saw in the first half, quite a bit was Earlham just, you know, using a lot of the shot clock. As there's Connor Martin with the 2-pointer there, and so they use most of the shot clock, and then they're forcing a bad shot with 2-3 seconds left, right? And that was just because, you know, Bluffton's defense, they were all over them, and you saw that with that one. If you can get them to force bad shots, that's going to turn into points offensively.
Reddick into the corner. Pruitt shot fake. Now he'll drive baseline. Kicks it up top. Stallman almost comes away with the steal. Now he does off the tip of Nevin Robson. Sumner in transition goes up, gets ripped, comes up with his, I guess, board, and Robson just right in position to take that feed from Sumner. Sumner with 3 assists there in the first half. I'm sure that will be credited as his 4th to the cutting Robson. 2-pointers no good. Hale with the putback. This back and forth affair continues.
Yeah, but you're seeing a lot more life from Bluffton's defense now, a lot more like they were in the first half. And I mean, offense has come from that. And I think right there you just saw Ken Walker he's like, all right, ball's in my hand. We're going to get points this possession.
Robson using his body on Pruitt.
Yeah, you guys got Ken Walker, but we got Nev Robson.
Donovan Pruitt. A little bit of a mismatch there size-wise. He's just listed at 5'9". Robson playing basically a small forward position, as the runner there from Pruitt is good. Robson listed at 6'4", 200. That's pretty big. 6'4", 200 going up against 5'9". I'll take the odds on that one. But Pruitt responds right back with a bucket of his own. So we will head to the media timeout. Bluffton with a 2-point lead, 43-41. We are back with Bluffton with a 2-point lead here in the second half. Just over 5 minutes gone. It's been a pretty quick game so far. We mentioned that there in the first half, and not even an hour since tip. We're down under 15 minutes now. Stamen bringing the ball up for the Beavers per usual. Snelling will hand off to Stamen. Sumner working inside on Pruitt. He's going to draw the foul and head to the line to shoot a pair of free throws.
There haven't been many tonight. I don't know if that's only the second or third time Bluffton has been to the line tonight.
Yeah, this will be the third time. Martin knocked down both of his, and Robson was 1 for 2 there in the first half.
So not getting to the line too often. There was a couple early whistles to begin the second half, but nothing until then there. And see, I think Earlham called that timeout?
I believe so. Sumner on the season, 17 for 29 from the free throw line. The team shooting 67%, so just about 2 out of 3. Tonight they're 3 for 4. And Earlham really hasn't shot many free throws tonight, but they have shot a lot on the season, 384. They keep their hands out of the cookie jar too, only allowing their opponents to shoot 330. That really hasn't been a factor. It's been a non-factor tonight. The free throw game and the foul game. I think that probably aids Bluffton a little bit, although they do seem like they've been playing a much deeper team recently. You know, it just seems like they were able to rotate a lot of different guys, especially with Stamen coming back tonight. You're able to run a bunch of different looks out there, so guys are probably in less foul trouble, less tired. They're not, you know, getting those exhaustion fouls where a guy's blowing by you and you're just kind of like, I'm not going to let him get an easy bucket, that type of thing. So that might play into it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Bluffton too, like you said, they've been pretty deep tonight, and there's guys who haven't even played, like Trevor Daughtry and
Luke Bikey hasn't played tonight. He's been playing a ton. Aiden Aliali.
Brendan Williams. I mean, there's
Brendan Williams hasn't played tonight.
There's a lot of guys who have played valuable minutes for the Beavers in the past few weeks, and you know, haven't even been on the floor yet today, and they've played a rotation of at least 10, 11 guys so far tonight.
Second one is good as well. Sumner now up to 8 points here tonight. Bluffton still employing that almost a 2-3 zone look press or 3-2 or something. It's a little bit different than anything that they've really run before, but they're really emphasizing coming out to that 3-point line, making sure that Earlham's not going to get many open looks. Where Earlham has got the open looks is in the corners. Walker will pull up. He gets fouled by Stamen.
Yeah, that was we get another replay here. Maybe just didn't give him room to land. Looked like he got ball, maybe a little wrist. I don't know. That looks like ball. I would say, if anything, he just didn't give him any room to land.
I think that was the call, because it did look like he tipped it initially, and that's why he was a little bit upset. You can see him talking to the referee there, trying to figure out where he went wrong. As Walker gets the first one to fall. Walker, an exceptional free throw shooter. Of course, that's to be expected. He shot 90% from the free throw line this season on 83 attempts. There he knocks down the first 2 so far tonight, so that would improve him to 77 for 85. So that number is only going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, when you can make the easy ones, you know, that just makes the numbers go back up when you're taking step back threes and you're 6 from 9 from 3-point land. You're scoring all over the place. Yeah,
he's made the hard ones, so the easy ones.
Yeah, the easy ones are.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Naturally, you're going to shoot 90% from the free throw line if you're
knocking those home.
Yeah.
It'll be the Beavers now on offense. Sumner trying to spin, uses that right hand again, and just having his way down low. Sir Sumner now into double digits, having an exceptional night.
He likes that little drop step, half spin,
baby hook shot, yeah. Whatever you'd like to call it. That's been his shot, his bread and butter tonight.
You don't see that too often, especially a guy, I mean, he's not overly big, 6'3", I mean, long arms, but he gets to that spot, and you know he's going to do it, and you still can't stop it.
Good hands there by J.D. Stokes, but a better finish by Tavian Tatum. I haven't seen a whole lot of Tavian Tatum tonight. Those are his first points. He's second leading scorer for the Quakers, averaging just a tick below 10 points per game. Sumner will have it on the wing. Not much there. He'll get it up top. Slusher thought about the 3. Robson using that left shoulder, right hand, too strong, gets his own rebound, uses his body well to draw the contact. Tatum's going to be called for the foul. I don't think he realized how open he was right here, because when he gets this offensive board look right there, just lay it right back in. But even better job by using the body. You can see he's a little bit upset with himself for not finishing, but able to get the 2 free throw attempts is good enough for me.
And that's one of those where you just, once he left his feet, he was just trying to make, draw some contact. And at that point, you're almost more worried about drawing the contact than making the bucket. And 2 free throws makes first one, so you're leaving with points, but you'd like to have the in one there.
Robson now up to 14 points, trying to make it 15 on his second free throw attempt after the foul by Tatum, and he does. So up to 15 points, and that's pretty much a given for Nevin Robson every night. Just able to find ways to score at every level, and he has done so far tonight. Tatum up top for Walker. Slusher out there defending. He'll get it to McAboo. See Carson Klum into the game. Good to see Slusher out there as well after that first half injury. Wasn't sure how much we were going to get him.
Anytime you see a guy come out of the game because of knee, you kind of you grit your teeth. You're a little worried, so it's good to see him back in the game.
Pass into Pruitt. 6 on the shot clock. Klum up top. Freshman guard doing a nice job. Pruitt has to throw a Hail Mary up.
And again, one of those defensive possessions where you're just making Earlham chew clock, and
Sumner now with pace.
Turns into points for the Beavers.
Looked like he was losing his handle a little bit. Did a really good job to continue to handle that ball down the floor. There's Walker in the corner. Get it poked from behind by Robson. It's also into the game is J.D. Stokes. We will head to the under-12 media timeout now with Bluffton sporting a 5-point lead. And this has been very back and forth here in this second half. There's a driving bucket from Sumner. So 51-46, Bluffton leads, and they're seeking revenge. Earlham, the only win on their schedule so far has been the Beavers. Bluffton was fit to be tied. That was their one win of the season. They're looking for that revenge. So far in the second half, it's been going pretty well. I might say down 4, now up by 5. So done a nice job trying to build a little bit of a lead here. You'd like to see them be able to pull away a little bit more and try to finish this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to be a team's first win, right? That one's gonna sting. So when you got that same team coming back to your home court, there's gonna be some ill will, and as you're up 51-46, you want to do what you can to put them away. Make that one look like a fluke. Show them who's the better team here. But that's also a team, like I said earlier, without a Mike Stammen. No. So
it's been different tonight with him back in the lineup, but also just getting contributions from everywhere. Everybody looks more comfortable out on the floor tonight than they have in their past few contests. Bluffton just trying to keep their tournament hopes alive, and they would with a win tonight. Pruitt turns around from the free throw line, falls off right. Klum will come up, and it's going to be a jump ball going the way of the Beavers.
And again, like, I think that's just been key for Bluffton tonight is you're forcing them to use a lot of shot clock. And when they're getting a shot off, it's with 2 seconds left, and it's not a great one. It's not what they want, right? I think if you're Earlham, you want to shoot early in the shot clock because it's a shot you want or you created yourself. They're getting these shots late in the shot clock. They're not good shots, and fortunately for Bluffton, they haven't been able to finish them. And hopefully these turn into points here for Bluffton again.
It'll be Slusher on the left side. He gets it to Sumner, almost loses his balance. Able to put the ball on the ground and avoid a travel. He'll go up over Walker. Klum there for the rebounds. Layfield open for 3, short. Long rebound goes to Walker. Walker only has 3 points here, and those were the 3 free throws after being fouled by Michael Stammen up top, as we will have a foul now Going against Will Layfield.
Just a little hand check. You see Walker's trying to get those points early in the shot clock, and most of those late in the shot clock points too haven't even been from Walker. They've been doing a good job of keeping the ball away from him, and probably due to that little zone press that they're in.
Good pass to Hale, gets blocked by Stokes, but it's going to be called for a foul. Hale took some contact there from Stokes. It's a good cut there.
I think he got ball again. I think it was more on the finish. He got a little bit of his head. I think he got a ball initially, though.
Hale will sink the first one. Landon Hale now up to 9 points, make that an even round 10.
I see Earlham coming out in the press.
Trying to change things up, slow down this Beaver offense. Here's Klum in the corner, asking for the screen, but he'll take it the other way. Good pass. Not much there. So it'll be Sumner handing off to Klum. Layfield attacking the rim. Stokes outside for three. Can't find the bottom of the net.
Good pass, touch pass there by, who was that?
Caden Slusher.
Caden Slusher, wow.
It was like he got the offensive rebounds and immediately knew where Layfield was and just kind of shuffled, not even a shuffle pass, like you said, it was a touch pass, really. Kind of just deflected it right to him.
Looking like a UCLA Lonzo Ball there.
Nice play by Slusher to Layfield to extend that lead back to 5. Walker in the corner. He's off the mark. Rebound Hale right up over top and in. Landon Hale really hasn't been a big focal point of this offense, but he's done a lot of the dirty work down low in those boards, coming out with second chance points. He's getting rewarded, having a good night, up to 12. Klum will take the screen to Layfield now. Layfield into the corner. Klum steps back, lets it fly off the front side. This is the first time I've noticed it, but all 5 players in the game right now are players off the bench for the Beavers. Pretty interesting that they're comfortable running their second team out there. That just goes to show the depth that this team has. Pass to McAboo. Klum getting his hand inside. Reddick open for 3. He'll let it fly, rims out. Another offensive board for Hale from the free throw line. That one's good for Tatum.
Yeah, and Tatum has been pretty quiet too tonight. You said he was coming off the bench as their second leading scorer. I wonder if he's battling an injury maybe, or not quite sure, but he's been pretty quiet. I think he's only up to 4 tonight.
Slusher lets one fly from deep. And a 3-pointer for Caden Slusher extends that lead to 4.
Per request of Justin Maurer, next 3-pointer is supposed to say bang.
Yeah, I saw that on my my sheet. I got a lot of adjectives and whatnot to go through before we get there.
That was a big one there by Slusher, though.
I didn't see him loading that thing up. He shot that from
beyond the Riley Creek.
Yeah, that was a deep 3 from Slusher.
He's feeling it. Made a good assist to play before, and deep 3 there.
Robson will head back into the game for Stokes now. We are going to have a ball out of bounds.
I think that's right. Looked like they got ball there, blocked it.
Yeah, but
maybe he just slipped through his hand. I don't know. Not quite sure there, but it's going to stay with Earlham here.
It'll be Walker to trigger in, throws it up top. Tatum can't finish the 2-footer. Robson there for the board. The soccer boys underneath the basket are letting him hear it.
I guess
Robson in transition, right hand and 1.
Yeah, well, I think I pointed out at the half, I thought this half was going to be a battle between Robson and Walker, and knock on wood, but so far Robson's winning the second half battle here as he's on fire this second half, up to 18 now. And a chance to put that up to 19 with the N1 here.
Yeah, I think he's at 17, so this would give him 18. Just rims out. Sumner tries to get the board. He's going to take the foul and own up to it immediately. 8:06 left. Bluffton sporting a 6-point lead trying their best to hang on, and still they're leaving a lot of the depth guys out there, and they've been doing a tremendous job. So Coach Clark opting to ride with the hot hand. Nothing that the starters have done tonight has been negative, as Klum will try to come up with a steal. Good hands there, and here comes Reddick down the floor, loses it, and it'll go to the Beavers.
And I think you can tell too with Earlham's offense here, they're having trouble getting the ball to Walker, and they're also trying to get those shots early in the shot clock now, and due to that, it seems like they're rushing it a little bit. They don't want to put up bad shots late in the shot clock, but you also can't rush a bad shot, you know, early in the shot clock, and due to that, there's a ball off the knee, out of bounds, going the other way. Bluffton basketball.
There you see the women's team dropping to Earlham 70-66. Bluffton really needed to get that win because they are on the verge of being out of the conference tournament as well.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow.
And they're a similar team, right? They're just, it's any given day where
they could beat anybody, really.
Yeah, and that's a tough conference. Like, they have, you know, 10 wins on the season, only 4 of them in the HCAC, but there's a lot of teams in that league that, other than Transylvania, who are powerhouse every year, that can potentially, you know, be a top 2 team. Like, yeah, that's a tough one.
So I got to ask Jake, right in front of us here is the soccer team with all the jerseys on. And I'm seeing some pretty unique jerseys down there. We have Allen Iverson Sixers and Obi Toppin on the Pacers, which I was a big Obi Toppin fan. I love the Dayton Flyers. And you have Jameer Gibbs down there. I think the Celtics is Tatum.
Gibbs. Best running back in the league.
What's your pick down there? I can't really tell what
Gibbs guy. I told my high school baseball coach, big fan of the Lions. Shout out him. I told him, Gibbs switches to number 1. I think that was his college number. I said, I'm going to get a Gibbs jersey. I'm a big fan of him.
If he switches to 1, he's going to win MVP.
Oh, I'm a big fan of him. I like that one down there. And I think it's the black version, too. I like the new black jerseys are tough.
Going to have a foul on the floor here going against Earlham. We'll see who it's called against. It's going to go against number 4. That's Tommy Reddick. He'll pick up his second. Both teams now 1 foul away from heading into the double bonus. 6 fouls apiece for each team. Instead, for right now, it'll be Sumner to inbound. He'll look to get it into Robson, who goes up over top like a receiver to get it. And he'll take the screen from Sumner. He'll drive inside instead. Now dribble it back out. Using that right shoulder like he has many times before. Fadeaway comes up short. Klum also almost comes up with the rebounds. Be Walker passing ahead in transition. Hale working downhill with the right hand. Soft touch, but unreal. That thing went around twice and still couldn't find the bottom of the net.
We mentioned it earlier. I mean, it's tight rims here at the Somers Center at Copeland Court.
Slusher from the same spot, and he nails it.
Bang!
He called off this. He said, ISO. I'm shooting this from the same spot. This is my spot.
Somebody's got to put a hand up there, huh?
That's a 35-foot three-pointer from Caden Slusher. And now the Beavers in transition ahead to Robson. Right-handed layup is good. Beavers extending their lead to 11 now. Earlham trying to play with some pace. Trap down low. Walker up top. Tatum goes up with the right hand, gets fouled, so he'll head to the line. Quite the sequence there for the Beavers. Look at that nice pass there. Sumner. One, two.
Nice.
Into the back of the net. Sumner's been racking up the assists so far tonight. Here you see him, Slusher there, calling ISO.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
First free throw is good from Tavion Tatum.
That might have been deeper than the first one. That was near volleyball line.
When he ISO'd and he wanted it, I was like, man, he's going to get to his spot, isn't he?
But, like, your spot's usually, you know, a corner, you know, like elbow maybe. Like, not often do you say, let me get to my spot from 35 feet out.
Right, yeah.
Jimmer Fredette-esque, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dude used to pull up from 40 feet when I was a kid.
Slusher will take the screen from Robson. Stokes swings it to Klum on the left side here. 6 minutes to play. Klum will take the screen from Stokes. He's got a roller, gets it to him. Is that a no-look pass?
Very
Carson
good.
Klum
Very
making
good
the high IQ plays tonight.
And he saw that earlier, too. There was a good no-look pass into the corner. I don't think a shot came from it earlier, but he's got that in his bag. This is an and-one there from
Tommy
Hale.
Reddick driving to the lane there.
Was that Reddick?
Yeah. Able to draw the contact and finish. That's a big bucket for Earlham. Huge, try to stop the bleeding right now and get some momentum back on their side.
And if you want the momentum, though, I don't really get why they're going away from. I know Bluffton's done a good job of keeping the ball away from Ken Walker, but if you want the momentum back, you got to get the ball in your guys' hands.
Slusher in the corner, too strong. It's used from shooting further away. We will have a foul going against Nevin Robson, though.
Yeah, he was. I mean, you can't shoot from 35 feet when you're in the corner. Not a lot of room there. Tight quarters. That puts Earlham in the bonus now.
Yeah, 1-1 for Earlham now. It's an easy way to let a team back into the game just by giving them those foul shots.
Kind of like I brought up at halftime, right? You see Bluffton go on that little bit of a run, but then haven't done much to build off of that, right? They got to build off of that. Go on another run of sorts here, whether that's a 6-point run, a 5-point run, whatever it may be. Get some more stops, go on a little bit of more of a run, and try to put this game away with 5:27 left.
Reddick knocks down a pair of free throws. That lead is down to 7. Sumner bringing the ball up the floor. Looks like a trap now from Earlham. They'll try to bounce it, but it gets stolen by Connor Smith. Smith in transition drops it to Reddick off the glass, and he'll be fouled by Sumner.
So I wouldn't be too surprised if you see a couple more subs here as you're getting down to the 5-minute mark. Put some of those starters back in.
I actually think that I would be surprised to see him not go to a couple of different guys here. As you can tell, the momentum is just swinging just a little bit. This is exactly the spark, though, that you needed from your bench guys.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't get the props they deserve. They went on the run, played some valuable minutes, put them in a good position to win a ball game. But get them starters back in as the momentum does tend to switch a little bit here, and it's a 5-point game. Maybe call a timeout, talk things over, get some fresh legs in there.
To Robson, just in front of the Beaver head. He's getting trapped now by Ken Walker and Tatum. Klum will swing it across. Sumner will let it fly. Too strong. Right there is Slusher. Gets it to Robson, who gets denied. And here comes Ken Walker with speed. Walker slows it down, speeds it up. Right hand is good.
It looked like Slusher passed a wide open layup there on that rebound.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where he was in
Might have been
position to the basket there, if he was underneath it or where exactly he was. But it definitely looked that way. Bluffton is now finally slowing things down with 4.5 minutes, a 3-point lead. Earlham's done a really good job of eating into that, just staying alive. Klum on the floor comes up with the board. Pass down low. And Stokes gets fouled. That was a hectic sequence there. I couldn't
tell if that was a pass, but it hits rim almost. And I don't know if if that was a tip pass. If he would have made that, was he getting credit for the assist there, or was that a shot attempt? I don't really know.
Have you ever played Can Jam?
Oh yeah.
It looked like he was trying to tip it into the top, like you would in Can Jam.
That's 2 points in Can Jam, right? Or 1?
I don't know the rules. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, I thought you were.
I'm a cornhole guy.
Yeah, I know you're pretty good at that. You're a guy of many talents off the baseball field.
Yeah, that's
pretty good at Wii golf. Unreal.
Too much time on that game.
Cornhole, what else?
Everything that's useless, you can be like, yep, he's good at that.
How are you at bowling? Pretty decent?
All right.
Yeah.
Klum will come away with the steal, now in transition, saves it. Good pass to Robson. That's just a hustle play from Carson Klum there. He's been so impressive tonight on the defensive side. He's not going to show up with a ton of points in the stat sheet, but he's been a big factor in this one.
Yeah, and I think we made a comparison early on in the year to Trevor Daughtry to Mike Stammen, but I see a lot of that young man in Carson Klum, especially tonight. He's had a lot of hustle plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting dirty, some no-look passes here, maybe a little more spice to his game than Mike, but just does everything you need in a good teammate.
Yeah.
Passes the rock, plays hard on defense, gets on the ground. It's that hustle stuff that maybe doesn't show up in the box score, but helps teams win.
That's going to be big for the Beavers to build on, too. You have two guards that play like that, two freshman guards between Daughtry and Klum. We haven't seen Daughtry in this one, but he's played a lot this season, averaging 15 minutes a game across 15 games. So he's been impressive, too. So between the two of them, they are really going to have that 1-2 tandem that Coach Clark likes to play with, and that's something that that is invaluable to have two freshmen. And you know, you just hope that you can keep these guys together, keep this group together to try to continue to build, as it hasn't always been pretty. But if you can keep getting those guys that experience, get them to play together, and eventually turn yourself into a really, really competitive team in the HCAC.
Yeah, and that's one thing. If you can look at the positives in a season that, you know, you might not be too proud of, with as of right now being 4-16, right? Having young guys getting valuable minutes, and you see a future in kind of that core that you brought in. If you can keep them together, the future's bright here in Bluffton.
So it'll be Tommy Reddick back to the line. His first one hits off the front of the rim and misses. Reddick hasn't had the chance to shoot a ton of free throws this year, but he is 15 for 20 coming into tonight. Second one, that one does fall. Reddick increases his total to 8 now. Stammen back into the game. He's getting trapped, able to split the defense, and we will have a foul.
I grit my teeth every time he's hit the floor tonight.
I know. See him with the tape on those wrists. And so he will get a chance to shoot some free throws here in a 1-on-1 situation. After getting that early bucket to start the game off, he hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities to score after that. We've seen him take more rest here in the second half to be fresh for this last bit. They've opted also to keep in that freshman guard, Carson Klum, along with Caden Slusher. So it's a 3 smaller guard look now with Robson and Stokes on the back end. Second free throw is good as well, so Stammen gets up to 4, and that lead is up to 6. Also haven't seen a whole lot of Cam Rogers, but the thing I love about Cam is I saw him immediately as Stammen tries to hit it off of Smith. Good hustle play again.
And then the back door.
That's great basketball there.
That was past, present, and future there, all in one.
Here's Walker driving in. Right-handed floater won't go. Beavers slowing it down now.
Yeah, that was a huge hustle play there by Stam, and then Klum getting the loose ball, and Stammen to Robson. That was huge, as it puts an 8-point lead here.
That's good looking basketball, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen some good ball tonight.
Really between both teams. Earlham has, I can't give them enough credit. Stammen will step back, try for a 3. It's nothing but net.
My guy, Mike Stammen.
Oh, it's just going to be a long 2, but it'll be a 10-point lead now for the Beavers. Tatum thought about it, but he'll give it back to Reddick. Reddick now drives inside, left hand off the glass, no good. Robson comes up with it. It's a 2-on-1. Cut into the lane as Robson with the left hand. Can't get it to fall. Smith is there for the board. Now a 4-on-2. Reddick behind the back, smooth pass. Walker pull up. Got it.
You're down 10 and you're passing the ball behind your back.
Hey, it worked, didn't it?
We've seen a lot tonight.
That's an assist right there.
Wow.
Ken Walker hits a huge 3 off the Tommy Reddick assist. That leads back down to 7. Just a crazy last 2-minute sequence. Great pass down low from Stammen. A great hustle play there. Here we'll see.
Oh.
Stammen's step back attempt. Crosses over, steps it back. Yeah, foot's right on that line. You see the referee, good eyes there by him. Unfortunate for the Beavers, but still a 7-point lead here with 2:14 left. Beavers trying to pick up their 4th win in the conference. Nevin Robson now up to 23 points.
And he didn't even score probably the first 7 minutes of the first half.
Yeah.
He got going late.
He really did. Going into the half, he was up to 7, so he's kind of turned it on here. 16 second-point halves for number 5, Nevin Robson. Ken Walker now up to 24 as well, and he's been kind of quiet in this second half, but it's interesting to me because I figured that Walker would be shooting the ball a lot more for the Quakers. He's been really good, 8 for 14, but when you have a guy that's shooting that well and has played so well in a stretch of games, you'd think that you're just going to keep feeding him, getting him 20, 25 shots, but it really hasn't been that way. It's kind of just been everybody else. As Stammen is going to be able to draw the foul on Donovan Pruitt there, and he'll head back to the line.
Yeah, I have been surprised to see. I don't know if it's just Bluffton playing good D on, like locking up Walker, I guess, or I don't know, the looks are just coming elsewhere, but he hasn't really done much. He ended with 16 points in the first half, and then
he's got 8 here in the second.
So he really hasn't done a whole lot.
24 points.
Second half points wise.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he had a really good first half. I think maybe an adjustment Bluffton might have made at halftime or whatnot. I know that little, I don't know if it's a press zone, whatever you want to call it, right? That, I guess that's taking the ball out of his hands because they're guarding him pretty high up.
Yeah. I mean, everybody in the conference is going to guard him really tough.
He just hasn't found ways to really score too much in this second half, and the ball's been in other people's hands. And credit to Bluffton's defense, because I think if you can hold him to 24 points, I mean, I'd be happy.
Especially after going for 41 last game. Stammen able to draw the foul again, so he has a redemption here after missing the front end of the 1-and-1.
Who did Earlham play last game?
Played Franklin and took them to overtime. 5-point loss for Earlham. So they've been playing really, really well recently. Haven't been able to crack that win column yet again. That one rims out for Stammen. See him upset with himself.
I mean, we talked about those wrists and how he essentially has 2 new wrists, right? So how does that feel, shooting the ball? How's the touch around the rim going to be? I mean, first game back, you're asking a lot, right? And he's...
Second one gets a little bit of a friendly bounce there.
I'm sure it doesn't feel as normal as it once did shooting a basketball, and you just love to see him back out there.
Walker pulls up, ice in his veins, getting up to 27 now. Stammen able to break the press, throws it forward, it gets tipped and stolen. Here comes Tatum into the corner. Pruitt thought about it, he'll drive inside now, right hand. Can't finish it.
Good,
Robson gets the board. Gets ripped, and again gets ripped by Carson Klum. He had a 4-on-1 there. The freshman comes up with a steal. Stokes lays it in easy. We are going to have a timeout, I believe.
I'm not too sure what, as there was a lot going on here. There's Robson, he gets stripped, and Klum with just another hustle play.
That's fantastic there. It was really it was a 4-on-1 right there for Earlham. It seemed like they were about to make this a 3-point game.
Yeah.
Boom, right there for J.D. Stokes.
Just those. That's just hustle. That's all that is hustle. Who wanted it more in that moment?
Walker unable to connect. Now under 50 seconds. Stammen will have to be fouled by Walker.
You know, we should start having a post-game interview.
I thought about that.
Yeah?
Realistically, though, I am not going to interview somebody if they're just coming off a loss.
Oh, yeah.
So there's been a couple times where I'm like, you know, we're playing a really good game. I'm like, oh, we could interview somebody after. And just so many times we've been on the wrong side of, you know, a comeback. And so we haven't had that opportunity yet. But I'm very down to do that. I think it'd be great to get a player's perspective and we can talk as much as we want, but they're the ones who are playing the game. They know better than anybody what goes on down there.
I'd like to see how much of what we're saying is valid to what they're thinking as well, or what they're just from their perspective.
Open three for Tatum in the corner. Falls short. Robson there for the board. 30 seconds now. Robson will be fouled.
Yeah, I'd like to have number 3 come up here, get a win, give his thoughts.
Yeah, he's definitely been the spark that Bluffton's needed, and so has number 4, Carson Klum. What a performance from him tonight. I'm not sure. He's going to end up probably without scoring in this game, and he might be the most influential player out there on the floor.
100%.
I mean, he
made 3 plays with a minute left in this game that you could essentially say won you that game, or was a part of those 3 plays at least.
Yeah.
And so was number 3, and then Nevin, obviously your leading scorer.
Nevin gets both.
Yeah,
his total is climbing up to 25. Deep 3 from Pruitt. Desperation heave, won't go. Rebound for Sumner. Can't corral it. So Earlham will take over, but 18 seconds left and 11 points. Bluffton desperately needed this win here tonight. And it looks like they're gonna come away with it as Michael Stoneman comes away with the steal. Nobody in front of him, dishes it to Robson. Unselfish play there for Michael Stoneman to get Robson up to 27. Here's Pruitt driving down the floor. Finishes up high, 8 seconds now. Stoneman is just gonna be able to run this clock out, but yeah, huge win for the Beavers, 82-71. And Michael Stoneman's first game back, you can see him and Sir Sumner rejoice.
Man, that was a gutsy one. That was a good basketball game all around. Bluffton just they went on that run when they needed to. A lot of good defensive plays by Stoneman and by Klum as well. And then Nevin, obviously, he's good for 20 a game, and he 27 he ended up with?
Yeah, 27 for Nevin Robson. He ties the game high. Ken Walker at 27 as well. That's a good night from Ken Walker. 27 when you're averaging 22.
And essentially, if they got him the ball a little bit more in the second half, he could have had 40 again.
Yeah.
I mean, he really didn't touch the ball for the first 10 minutes of the half, it seemed like. He didn't. Like I said, I don't know if that was just Bluffton doing a good job of keeping the ball out of his hands, but yeah, credit to Ken Walker on a great game, but
yeah, he played his tail off tonight, but it's going to be the Beavers coming up with the victory. There you see Nevin Robson, a double-double, 27 points, 14 rebounds. Bluffton will win 82-71. Also adding in the point total, Sir Sumner had 12. He played very well tonight. Stoneman added 9. Most of those came at the end at the charity stripe, but Will Layfield hit a couple of threes. He had 8. Slusher had 8. Stokes had 8. Martin had 6. Cam Rogers had 4. And like we mentioned a lot, Carson Klum doing the best he can on the defensive side of the ball and with the high IQ hustle plays. Finishes with 0 points, but I would love to know how many steals, assists, everything else he had. Ends up getting 4 rebounds and 2 assists, but we don't have the steals or blocks or anything, but man, he played his tail off as well. So an all-around team effort gets the job done for the Beavers, and they take the win over the Quakers. Looking at the Quakers, it was Ken Walker, 27 points, 9 for 16, 6 for 11 from 3. Another very efficient night for him. And Landon Hale had 12 points and 11 rebounds for the double-double. Earlham really played very well to keep the margin where it was the entire time. They just weren't able to climb over that hill and be able to eat into the lead more than by 4 points at a time, and that's in the second half at least, and that's why Bluffton was able to come away. But you got to give a little bit of credit to Earlham for a team that at the beginning of the season, it seemed like they were left for dead. They've really turned things around, and despite unable to get win columns, unfortunately, getting in the win column has been difficult, but they've done a really good job as of late to try to make things as competitive as possible, and they gave Bluffton a good show tonight, but it's ultimately going to be an 11-point victory.
Yeah, and you just, as a team with a lot of freshmen, right, you're looking for the future for Earlham. I mean, 1-19, that's not ideal, but they got a lot of young guys in that lineup, and they're going to be a pretty good basketball team from years on to come. And I would say same with the Beavers, a lot of young guys getting in. I got message here from alum Carson Kernoop says Carson Klum is a dog. Young guy, he's going to be the future of the Bluffton Beavers basketball team, as well as some of the other young guys that have been in the rotation this year. I mean, that was a good game to watch, though.
Yeah, that was a fantastic game. Bluffton on the right side of this. Feels good to be back in the win column. It's got to feel better for Coach Clark and the Beavers as they take down Earlham 82-71. For one final time, I'm Andrew Collinsworth with Jake Bumgarner. Thank you for listening, and have a good night.